Planning and preparation is the first and arguably most important phase of the PEACE model, because it sets the foundation for the entire investigative interview. The quality of this stage directly determines how structured, fair, and effective the interview will be. Before entering the room, the investigator must already have a clear understanding of the case, the available evidence, and the key issues that need to be resolved. A key output of this phase is a written interview plan. This plan sets out the purpose of the interview in clear terms, including what the investigator is trying to establish and what decisions the information will support. It also identifies the specific points to prove for each allegation and anticipates possible explanations or defenses the interviewee may raise. In addition, the plan sets out the logical order of interviews, typically starting with the complainant, then witnesses, and finally the respondent, so that all relevant information is available before any challenge is made. This stage also involves a thorough case assessment and review of evidence. The investigator gathers and studies all available materials such as personnel records, attendance logs, emails, policies, and any prior complaints or reports. The purpose is to separate what is already known from what still needs to be clarified. At this point, any exhibits or documents that may be used during the interview should also be organized in advance, so they can be introduced in a controlled and deliberate way. Another important element is understanding the profile of the interviewee. Effective preparation requires considering factors that may affect communication and recall, such as language ability, cultural background, or the need for an interpreter. The investigator should also take into account the individual's likely emotional or psychological state, including stress, fatigue, or the impact of trauma, as these factors can influence how information is provided and whether the timing of the interview is appropriate. Practical and logistical arrangements are also finalized during this phase. This includes selecting a private and neutral location that supports confidentiality and reduces disruption. The physical setup of the room should support both safety and effective communication, including ensuring the investigator has a clear exit route and removing unnecessary distractions. Decisions are also made about who will attend the interview, such as note-takers or support personnel, and whether the interviewee has rights to representation, such as a union representative or legal counsel. Finally, planning includes a risk and safety assessment. The investigator must consider whether there are any risks of aggression, retaliation, or emotional escalation, and put appropriate safeguards in place if needed. This may include coordinating with security, setting up discrete support arrangements, or implementing interim measures such as separation of parties or administrative leave before the interview takes place. Overall, this phase is about control, clarity, and foresight. A well-prepared investigator enters the interview not to improvise, but to guide a structured process that is fair, defensible, and capable of producing reliable evidence.